Is this the end of the Golden State Warriors era? As you all know, the Golden State Warriors ended up losing against the Los Angeles Lakers in that series, and the Warriors are officially eliminated from the NBA playoffs. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 key moves that the Golden State Warriors need to make next season in order to go back to the NBA playoffs and win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world that you can subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. The first is to trade Jordan Poole. Now, as you all know, Jordan Poole recently just signed a max contract with the Golden State Warriors this season, and the Golden State Warriors were looking forward to having Jordan Poole play a serious role in this roster. However, it did not live up to the hype, especially during the NBA playoffs. If we look at Jordan Poole's stats, he only averaged 10.3 points, also had 2.2 rebounds and 3.5 assists, but on top of this, when it came to the three-point line, he was shooting only 25% and also went 34% from the field as well. So he wasn't putting up good numbers all around, and I think this became a huge problem for the Golden State Warriors, not only just in this round against the Lakers, but also against the Sacramento Kings very early. I do believe that Jordan Poole is a great player, but it may seem that he may not be the right fit for something like Golden State Warriors, where they already have a superstar point guard in Steph Curry, and also a ready great two-man in Klay Thompson. This could be a huge issue for the future, because maybe Jordan Poole isn't just the right fit for this Warriors team, and it may be time to finally move on. Poole is obviously in that point in his career where he is starting to hit his peak years, and because of that, he may be of great trade value to maybe trade for a good rookie this upcoming season, or even trade for an experienced veteran that can really add that pack to punch for that second unit. I think it's something that the Golden State Warriors definitely need if they want to come back next season and be a championship contending team. Like I mentioned before, Steve Kerr has said in a recent interview and the post-game interview for that Lakers loss, they did say that the Golden State Warriors were just not a championship team this season. And because of that, we could see Golden State Warriors look to mix things up and maybe trade for someone that can really have a huge impact off the bench early on in the game. Jordan Poole didn't provide that, but we have seen other six men so far in these playoffs do very well, and Jordan Poole just has not lived up to his max contract so far. If you look at other great six men that have been doing a fantastic job, Malik Monk, although they did end up losing to the Golden State Warriors, Sacramento Kings did a fantastic job and they did push it to a game 7. But on top of all that, Malik Monk played his heart out and could give you 20, 25, even sometimes 30 points in a game. So I think it was honestly fantastic to see that from a six-man. You also had others such as Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon, who are still, as of making this video, still in the running for a playoff spot to make it to the NBA Finals, but the list really does go on and on. It does seem that Poole hasn't lived up to the hype, and because of that, it may be time to trade him for a great guy that could provide offense straight off the bench. The second is the Golden State Warriors could sign a big free agent this offseason. As you all know, there are a lot of players that are going to be available in the free agency, and it may be time for the Golden State Warriors to look elsewhere to find another star in order to join this Warriors team and team up with Steph Curry. As you all know, some notable names are James Harden. James Harden so far in this season was averaging 21 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 10.7 assists. I think he could move to that shooting guard position, which could also help in their scoring potential, as James Harden is still a bucket even till today. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Sixers did actually lose in the most recent matchup, but we did see James Harden play a complete and fantastic game of basketball, and he could still help other teams happen, which is why I think he could be great for the Warriors. Another player is also Kyrie Irving, who will be available. He averaged 27.1 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and also 5.5 assists. So he's also another fantastic player that the Golden State Warriors could team up with Steph Curry to really provide that offense and a big bunch of that. Another notable player that I feel that a lot of Warriors fans have been very noticed about getting is actually Kristaps Porzingis, who averaged 23.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. So here are a couple of players that I think would be fantastic for this Warriors team, but obviously when it comes to who is actually available and who's actually interested in joining the Golden State Warriors, that is a completely different story. When it comes to what the Warriors need, I do believe they need another scorer to actually help out Steph Curry. As we noticed in the NBA playoffs, playoffs that they didn't have enough firepower to take the team down of the Los Angeles Lakers. So this is something that could be in the works and could be in the books, that they need another scorer, whether that's a big man, whether that's another guard, but simply Jordan Poole didn't provide enough scoring, Klay Thompson didn't provide enough scoring, and that is something that they need to change as soon as possible. Another free agency that could be on the lookout is also other players such as a small forward position, such as Chris Middleton, who also could be a great scorer off the bench. Middleton has always been a great six-man all up, and because of that, we could see him come off the bench for the Warriors. That could even give the Golden State chance of even winning another NBA championship next season. So these are some things that you can definitely look at as a Warriors fan that could be a great potential to add that scoring power that the Golden State Warriors need. Obviously, Steph Curry can't do it all himself, and we did see that in the last game against the Lakers, that it was really just a Steph Curry show and no one else could really provide that scoring that they needed. The third is trading Klay Thompson. Now, this may be one of the saddest ones that I ever did here, but the Golden State Warriors fans and also NBA analysts have thought that it may be time to actually trade the Splash Brother Klay Thompson and find a better scoring potential for to team up with Steph Curry. I think this was honestly sad to hear, but I do see some truth in it as well. Klay Thompson has been a fantastic player, and he is, I'd consider, probably the second greatest shooter alive. However, Klay Thompson in this playoff series only averaged 18.5 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 2.2 assists. He also shot 36% from the three-point line and also went 38.8% at the field. I think the biggest problem with Klay Thompson is due to the fact that Klay Thompson used to be a 3-and-D guy. We don't really see the same amount of defense and the same amount of defensive intensity that we usually see from Klay Thompson. And I think this is something that is so important because defense does win championships, and it did seem out there, especially against the Los Angeles Lakers, Klay Thompson really struggled to stay in front of his man, whether it was Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, the list really does go on and on. And we have seen glimpses of this during the regular season as well, but I did not think it was as this bad as I thought until they versed a team like the Los Angeles Lakers. But defense is very important, and they obviously do have defensive stoppers in Andrew Wiggins, also other players like Gary Payton II and Dante DiVincenzo. However, I do believe that all players need to play defense, especially if you're having a cold shooting night, which is what Klay Thompson had throughout this playoff series and also through the playoff run. I do believe that Klay Thompson is still a great player, but it may be time to team up Stephen Curry with another great scorer. Like I mentioned in my last point, there are a lot of free agents available, so they could trade Klay Thompson away for some free cap space, as well as Jordan Poole, which we talked about in the first point, trade them for some free cap space and get maybe another offensive superstar in this Golden State Warriors team. I think it is really important because Klay Thompson unfortunately didn't really perform to par. It has already been a season and a half since he came back halfway through last season, and I do believe it has been enough time for him to be able to see if he can be 100% and be the Klay Thompson that we all know and love. I think Klay Thompson definitely showed glimpses, especially in a couple of games where Warriors actually beat the Lakers. Klay Thompson did show great glimpses. However, I do believe the consistency with Klay Thompson has definitely taken a hit, especially ever since those two season-ending injuries. So I think what makes this very interesting is that Klay Thompson is still a very high value and high ticket item, so he can definitely go to a great team and also get a lot back for someone like Klay Thompson, who is considered probably the second best shooter, three-point shooter in that case, in this league. So I do believe that if they did trade Klay Thompson, we could definitely get a solid superstar or maybe even a great offensive threat from something like Klay Thompson. Even if you add a couple of picks in there or Jordan Poole in there, you could definitely get someone that really provides a lot of offense that can help Stephen Curry really offload it and really give it to someone else and, make it more even out in that way. Fourth is that the Golden State Warriors need to find a scoring big man. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Draymond Green has done a fantastic job so far this season and also has Kevon Looney. However, when it comes to scoring, they definitely need more scoring big men because that's what had them lose against the Los Angeles Lakers. As you all know, the Lakers had players such as Anthony Davis, who honestly played a fantastic game during those series, and I do think he did a fantastic job of getting the job done. Now, you got to give credit where credit is due. Now, we are Warriors fans over here, but I do believe that the Golden State Warriors definitely need a scoring big man that they can team up with Stephen Curry. Unfortunately, it does make it very difficult to have players like Looney out there and also Draymond Green not being main scorers and focusing on Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry to do the scoring. What also makes this a huge problem is that defense tend to focus on other players and those three players alone, and because of that, it made it very difficult for Steph Curry to get shots off, same with Klay Thompson, and same with Andrew Wiggins, since Draymond can't really shoot anything past the free throw line, and same with Kevon Looney. And this is something that has become a huge problem, especially in today's NBA, as spacing is so important, three-point shooting is so important, and because of that, it really does make it hard for the Golden State Warriors to really get going and to have Stephen Curry and give him enough space in order to make things work. I think Anthony Davis really did show that you need a scoring big man in order to win those games, and he definitely did show that, and that's something that the Golden State Warriors can definitely focus on and can definitely, use to their advantage for next season. Now, Draymond Green may actually be leaving next season, or this upcoming season coming up, and because of that, there could be a huge potential to sign someone or even trade for a scoring big man. Some scoring big men that are out there in the free agency is Kristaps Porzingis, which we talked about from before, Nikola Vucevic, and also others such as Brook Lopez. So there are a couple of scoring big men out there. You also have Kyle Kuzma, who can play that power forward position, and I do think that that is something that the Golden State Warriors definitely need. If they had a three-point shooter in Draymond Green, hypothetically, I do believe it gives a lot more space for Steph Curry to go to work. It also gives a lot more space for someone like Kevon Looney to score, and because of that, I think it is super important. But finding a scoring big man for this Warriors team, I think, should be at the top of the priority list in order for them to actually get going and to have a chance at winning another NBA championship next season. The fifth is that the Golden State Warriors need to start using their young players more. Now, I think Moses Moody did get quite a lot of game time during this playoff run. However, Jonathan Kuminga pretty much sat the rest of the bench for this whole playoff run, and I think that's something that definitely needs to change. Moses Moody did a fantastic job out there, and I think Jonathan Kuminga can also provide the same for this team, and this is something that definitely needs to change for this next season. Kuminga has the potential, but he needs to be given the minutes in order for them to actually shine, and this is the same with other rookies that are coming up, such as Patrick Baldwin Jr., and also other players that have just joined, such as Dante DiVincenzo. I think if they continue to focus on that young core and continue to grow them, there is a great chance that the Golden State Warriors could come back and win another NBA championship.